Good morning. Actually, it's afternoon. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. It is 1:22 p.m. and I didn't start my day until like an hour ago. It is what it is. Anyway, welcome back to my channel, y'all. I am Kayla Nicole 999, and no, I don't sound as vibrant and as happy as I usually do. Why? Because my life is fucking shit right now. Okay? There's no other way to put it. Oh god. Okay, so today this video is generally going to be dedicated to uterine fibroids, but let's give you a quick update for those of you who are new to my channel as to why my life is shit. I am an abuse survivor. I am a rape survivor. My life has been filled with trauma basically since the day that I was born up until now. The trauma has not gone away. The abuse has not gone away. I'm 38 fucking years old and my life is hell. But I'm still here. We're getting through that. One of my last videos was about how my narcissistic mother has been abusing my grandfather while she cares for my grandmother with dementia. I don't really have a lot to update y'all on that yet. I am going to make another video. What I will say is the last time I talked to my grandfather, and I don't talk to my grandfather often because I can't because of my mother, the police showed up and he told them that she's been abusive to him. So yay for that. At least there's a little bit of progress going on that. But once I know more about the situation, it sounds like my mom's going to be removed as his caregiver, but I just don't know. I don't know exactly. I hardly talk to anyone in my family. So I'll be back with another video with that. Another recent video that I made for you guys is about how I unsuspectingly moved in with a convicted fucking rapist. I'm still living with the rapist, unfortunately. I have not found a way out yet. He's doing a bunch of creepy things. I keep reporting him. Nothing is being done because I don't have enough evidence. Don't even get me started on how fucking broken the system is right now. So, let's move on to what this video is actually going to be about. And that is about my massive, incredibly large uterine fibroids that I've had for years. Excuse me while I drink my coffee. Like, I literally cannot function without coffee. So, let's go all the way back to the beginning. I have had these uterine fibroids for years. I think I first found out about my fibroid probably back somewhere around 2010. Okay, back then it wasn't bothering me, so when the uterine fibroids are not bothering you, the doctors do nothing about it. They don't do anything about it until they start causing problems. So let's fast forward 2010 to 2009, and I am having my well woman checkup, and the doctor feels a mass right over here on the right side of my abdomen, and she's like, that is really big. I've never felt anything that big. I want you to go in for a transvaginal ultrasound. I want you to have that checked out. And I told her, I was like, hey, you know what? I have uterine fibroids. It's not a big deal. They've checked them out before. It's not really bothering me. I know it's a concern to you, but because it's not bothering me, I don't want to have surgery. Looking back now in the year 2022, this is one of those I'm an idiot moments. I went in for the transvaginal ultrasound anyway. They found a uterine fibroid that was about 3 centimeters at the time. It was causing me problems in the fact that I wasn't able to fully empty my bladder, but to me it just didn't seem like that big of a problem. I was getting through my day. I wasn't in pain. It wasn't the biggest deal. excuse me, I have a history of blood clots from birth control. So to me, surgery screams, hey, you might get a blood clot. I also have a huge fear of needles, and one of the great things that doctors want you to do before surgery, some doctors, not all doctors, but some doctors, they want you to take these shots called Lovenox the day before your surgery and for like 6 days or so after. Lovenox is an I cannot fucking talk today. It's a blood thinner, essentially, which is called anticoagulant. I hope I'm saying that word right. I am in so much pain that I really don't give a fuck at this point about proper pronunciation or editing this video. We are just rolling with it because it's a miracle that I'm even taking the time to make this fucking video, just to tell you, like, I am in that much pain. Okay? So 2019, I was on Medicaid. I could have got this surgery done for free. I wasn't making that much money, but I had no clue who was going to take care of my dog. I didn't know how I was going to make money after the surgery because I didn't know how long my recovery process was going to be. I was a rideshare driver, and I was a teacher. I was a part-time after-school teacher, and I was a delivery driver, all gig work. You know, almost all of my employment was I-9 employment, meaning I'm an independent contractor, so I don't get paid sick time. My teaching job was an after-school teaching job, teaching children computer coding, which was 10 hours a week. I got no benefits from that job, and I hardly ever got paid. So I literally didn't have a flipping clue how to support myself during the recovery process. I was living on a 3rd-story apartment. How the hell am I supposed to walk my dog after having a major surgery? So, although the doctors were like, hey, I really think you should have the surgery, I just said no. I start making too much money to qualify for Medicaid. So while I was on Medicaid, the surgery would have been completely free. You know, I was recovering from severe depression. I was recovering from severe PTSD, which I still have. And so that's why I was doing this gig work, because there was a lot of times when I just couldn't work. I was trying to work, but I just couldn't work every single day, 40 hours a week, like a normal person. But I still have bills to pay, right? So I was trying my best, and I stupidly said no. So let's fast forward to 2021. I do not qualify for Medicaid, even though in 2021 I really wasn't working much at all. My car broke down on me, the car that I used to do all of this gig work, you know, driving for rideshare and doing the delivery job. So I was an Amazon Flex driver, which means, oh my god, excuse me, well, I was an Amazon Flex driver, which means you drive your own vehicle to do deliveries for Amazon. Worst job in the world. I'm going to make another video about that, actually, but I'm going to move on because I'm not trying to take up a lot of your time today. I was still doing things like DoorDash and Grubhub, which honestly, you don't really make shit on those. Like, rideshare driving is where it's at if you want money. I can make another video on that later. But my car broke down. Christmas Day, 2020. I learned a very hard lesson. Never use your own car to drive rideshare with or do this gig work unless, you know, you're just doing it very part-time to supplement your income. Long story short, in 2017, I bought a used Subaru Forester XT model, which I loved. It had turbo. It was great. I wasn't doing these driving jobs full-time. I was working very part-time, and I didn't intend to put all of this mileage and wear and tear on my car. But within 3 years, I put 150,000 miles on my car, which I had bought used at, I think it had about 33,000 miles on it. So essentially my car broke down on Christmas Day 2020 with 187,000 miles on it. I was very, very upside down from all of the wear and tear on my vehicle. I still owed $12,000, and the car was only worth $6,000. I had just dumped $3,000 into it, repairing other things. I was financially tapped out. I was also struggling to pay off debt that I accrued from a computer coding boot camp that I attended in 2018 and never got a job afterwards. You know what? We're going to talk about that too in a different video. So I was drowning in debt. It's Christmas Day. I have no money. My credit cards are maxed out. What the fuck do? I take the L. Like, that was literally all I could do, was take a fucking L. So I had to do a voluntary surrender, meaning my car got repossessed, but I called them and told them, hey, I can't make the payments on this anymore. Come pick up the car. And then I had to file a bankruptcy. So 2021, I'm making very little money. By that time, I had started my porn career. You know, I was doing cam, and I was on multiple adult sites, OnlyFans being one of them. Other sites as well. One of the biggest sites in the industry. I don't even know if I can say the name of that site without this video being labeled for adults only, and I'm not trying to do that. Not that obviously this video is not for kids. The problem is with YouTube, if your video gets labeled for adults only, then you don't get paid on it. And I'm not at a point where I'm anywhere near monetized on YouTube, but it would be nice to eventually get monetized on YouTube. And I'm like, I really don't know what the hell I can and can't say without my videos being labeled as for, you know, age restricted. And so anyway, I'm not even here to talk about that, but I was doing that. I was making a little bit of money. In May of 2021, I'm in extreme pain. It was to the point where I went to the ER. Now, I don't go to the ER because at this point I didn't have insurance. I wasn't able to get back on Medicaid because although I was making money, I was an independent contractor. I had no paycheck stubs. And like, I don't know if any of you have tried to get on Medicaid when you have no paycheck stubs, when you are not a W-2 employee. It is virtually impossible. They won't take bank statements. How the fuck does a self-employed person get on Medicaid when they won't take bank statements? This is a huge problem in America. Huge problem. And you know, I'm not even going to get into that because then I'm going to go on a whole fucking rant on why we need universal health care. So anyway, I go to the emergency room. I'm in extreme pain. Like, I'm having hip pain. I am like crying. My entire abdomen is just like on fire. I don't know what the hell is going on. I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, do I have fucking ovarian cancer? Like, what is happening to me? So I get there and I get in a fight with the doctor over the fact that I don't want to take a fucking COVID shot at the time. Because I have a history of blood clots, and this is when they're like, yeah, so the J&J vaccine is causing blood clots. Fuck no, I'm not taking your shot, okay? I don't have insurance. I'm not going to spend days in the fucking hospital when birth control caused my blood clots. Like, I was very apprehensive of getting the shot back then. And at this point, I'm not even there for COVID. I have no symptoms of COVID. And I have this asshole doctor literally being a dick to me because I'm saying no to the shot, which is very unprofessional. You know, I know he saw a lot, but I'm in pain and he's being a dick to me. I filed a complaint about that doctor. I have since got my COVID shots, okay? But at the time, like, I had all of these other issues going on. No, you're not going to push me to get a shot that may cause me to have blood clots. I didn't know at the time. I had valid medical concerns for not getting that shot at the time, you know? All I know is I have a very bad reaction to medications, and I didn't know how I was going to react to that shot. And I had no insurance, and one of the things with the COVID shots is there was a clause that you couldn't sue. So if you had a bad reaction to the shot, like blood clots, and it caused you to be hospitalized or on medication, you couldn't sue. So how the fuck was I supposed to pay my medical bills? Because that one time when I got blood clots, just 4 days in the hospital cost me over $50,000 fucking dollars. Now I was able to sue the manufacturer of that birth control company, and I was able to get money, and I was able to pay my bills. But with that clause, I wasn't going to be able to do that this time. So that's a whole nother video, which I think I kind of made some videos on already, so I don't know that we're going to go with that. Anyway, later on in the year, I ended up going and getting my Pfizer shots. I've gotten the boosters. Everything was fine. I had no reaction to the shots. But at the time, I was having major anxiety. So anyway, the asshole doctor finally goes away, and they get me into the back, and they check me out, and they're like, you know, ma'am, I'm sorry, but there's really nothing we can do. It is just your uterine fibroids that we can see. They did like a full CT scan and all of that. They're like, all of your other organs and whatnot are functioning fine, but you have this massive 8 centimeter uterine fibroid that is pressing directly on your bladder, and it is causing you to be unable to fully empty your bladder. And so we're going to recommend that or refer you to a gynecologist. And I'm like, well, I don't have insurance, so, you know. Now, the state that I live in has this plan called the Colorado Indigent Care Program. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I might qualify for this. I can't get on Medicaid, but maybe I can get on this. Wishful fucking thinking, let me tell you. So I spent most of the year in 2020 trying to get qualified for the Colorado Indigent Care Program. And they told me, they're like, hey, yeah, if you just send us like screenshots of your income that you're making from these websites, then that's going to be fine. So I go through all this trouble. I apply, I go through all of these screenshots, and then they call me and they're like, we're not going to accept these screenshots. We need paycheck stubs. And I go through this again, and I'm like, I don't have fucking paycheck stubs. I am an independent contractor. No, I am not a W-2 employee. Nobody actually gives me a paycheck. All they do is deposit this directly into my bank account. All I can do is give you bank statements or these screenshots. And they're like, yeah, sorry, we're not going to accept you. So I spent the entire year of 2021 suffering in major fucking pain, not knowing what to do. The open enrollment period for healthcare comes up to where you can buy your own healthcare, and honestly, I just kind of ignored it because every single time I have tried to apply for healthcare on whatever that website is, I can't even think of it, Connect for Health or whatever it is, here's what happens. I'm making under $30,000 a year, and they sit there and tell me that the only plans that I qualify for are a plan that's going to cost me like $400 fucking a month with a $10,000 a year deductible. Who the fuck has $10,000 laying around to pay for medical expenses? Also, who the fuck has an additional $400 a month to pay for fucking health insurance? I sure as hell didn't, not on an income of less than $30,000 a year. So, needless to say, I never even bothered with the fucking Connect for Health. And in 2021, I was in so much 2022, I was in so much pain that I just couldn't handle it anymore. And when I filed my taxes, they offered a tax time extension for those of us who didn't apply for healthcare. And so I was like, you know what? I'm in a lot of pain. All right, let me just try this tax time extension. Let me see if there's anything that I can even afford, because I cannot continue living with this pain. Like, the pain is getting so bad that I literally cannot work. I was working anyway because I had bills to pay. Doing rideshare driving again. I never got another car. At this point, I'm renting a car through the rideshare company that I work with. That's another video. So I apply, or I go onto the Connect for Health website, you know, and I'm amazed. And I'm like, holy shit, with my income, because it was so low in 2021 because I didn't have a car, I had filed for bankruptcy. They were offering me some, what I thought were decent plans. So I ended up getting a plan through Anthem Blue Cross for $28 and change a month, and it only had a $200 deductible, and it came with a $700 yearly out-of-pocket maximum, meaning once I've covered $700 in medical expenses, I don't have to pay for anything. What I didn't know is it was a fucking HMO, meaning there are a lot of providers that I can't go to. There are a lot of hospitals that I can't go to. Huge problem that I didn't know about. I ended up getting charged $980 for a fucking STD test. I hadn't had sex in 3 years, and before I found out that the roommate was a convicted rapist and a fucking narcissist, I was sleeping with him. Another moment of mine. But anyway, I went and I got tested by my doctor, who was in network, but my doctor who was out of network, or my doctor who was in network sent my labs to a lab who was out of network, and now I have a bill for $980 fucking dollars for being tested for a yeast infection, trichomoniasis, chlamydia, and gonorrhea. What the fuck? Again, a whole nother rant on why we need universal health care in America, but we're gonna save that rant for another day. So, now, listen to all the hoops that I had to jump through just to get treated for fucking uterine fibroids. So I go to my doctor that my insurance connected me with, a doctor I had never been to before. She immediately gets me a referral to a gynecologist. I go to the gynecologist. They do another transvaginal ultrasound. They're like, yep, you definitely need a hysterectomy. Everything seems to be moving flawlessly. I get scheduled for surgery in June 2022. I was supposed to go in on June 22nd, 2022. I had just moved in with this fucking asshole roommate. So I had put in a change of address into the post office. So my mail was not getting to me in a timely fashion because of the change of address. Literally the week before surgery, I go and I check the mail. And I get this letter from my insurance company stating that they are denying my surgery because they don't think it's medically necessary. I'm in fucking tears. I'm frantically calling my doctor's office. This is on a Thursday. They were supposed to be open that Thursday, but nobody is fucking there. The office, the gynecologist's office, is closed every Friday. I can't get through to anyone. I get through to the answering service, and they're like, well, the doctor just suggests that you go to the ER. And I'm like, no, I can't go to the ER. I need to get a message to my doctor letting her know that I can't perform this fucking surgery that's supposed to happen next Wednesday because my insurance isn't going to cover it, and I can't be on the hook for however many thousands of dollars that the surgery is going to cost me. I call my insurance company and they're like, well, we can't tell you that you can't have this surgery. I mean, you could go through with it, but there's no guarantee that we're going to pay for it. Really? Do you think I'm actually going to put myself in a position after I just filed fucking bankruptcy to have up to like $100,000 in medical debt for a fucking surgery? I'm not stupid. So I just canceled the surgery. I don't know what else to do. I just canceled the surgery. Within days, I'm going to the ER again because I am in so much pain. I can't fucking handle it. I have a UTI. The UTI is causing additional pressure and bloating on my stomach. My stomach was so bloated, I was constantly feeling like I was going to throw up. My legs and my ankles started swelling to the point where it was just uncomfortable. And it was both of my legs, so I knew it had nothing to do with my blood clot because my blood clot that I had was only in my left calf. And then I had 2 in my lungs. So I had a DVT in my left calf and I had 2 pulmonary embolisms in my lungs, and that was way back in 2011 from my birth control. But at this point, both of my legs are swelling. So the hospital gives me Tylenol, Advil, and 2 different muscle relaxers, which really didn't do much, but I do feel that the muscle relaxers at least kind of helped with the swelling. And I had went to the urgent care before I went to the ER, and so the urgent care prescribed me with medication for my UTI. Not really sure if the UTI was caused by my fibroids. I'm thinking the UTI was caused by the piece of crap roommate who I was unfortunately still sleeping with at that point. I had actually just recently stopped sleeping with him because he tried to play me with another girl. And I've been in relationships before too where men are not faithful while they're claiming that they're faithful, and I've gotten things like UTIs and yeast infections, which I had both of those. And anyway, I think that was him. I haven't gotten another UTI or yeast infection since I stopped fucking him. Anyway, okay. Yes, I am living with a convicted rapist that I was having sex with before I knew he was a convicted rapist who tried to play me with another girl, and I caught in a million other lies and is doing a bunch of other creepy shit, and I want away from him, but I'm still stuck here at the moment. Life kind of fucking sucks right now. So, alright, so I'm calling the medical assistant for my gynecologist, telling her about all of this swelling and telling her that I really need to talk to the doctor. Like, I need to get the surgery scheduled ASAP. And I'm getting the runaround. Okay, so I got the gynecologist's office telling me, well, the insurance company said that we submitted the paperwork wrong and that we submitted it for irregular menstrual cycles, which is not why we submitted it. We submitted it for pain. And then I got the insurance company telling me that, yeah, the doctor's office completely submitted the paperwork wrong. So I don't know who the fuck to believe at this point. I'm a victim of narcissistic abuse and I'm feeling very gaslit at this point, but I don't know who's gaslighting me. Like, is it the insurance company? Is it the doctor's office? What is going on? So then I get this piece of crap medical assistant on the phone and I'm like, I'm having severe swelling. I don't know what's going on. I need to talk to the doctor. And this, excuse my language, but this bitch who knows nothing because she barely has any training sits there and tells me, there is absolutely no way that your fibroids would cause swelling in your legs, Kayla. She had this complete total attitude. And I was like, excuse me, but I've been sitting here Googling and it does say that uterine fibroids can cause leg swelling. And this bitch sits there and she's like, well, the location that your fibroids are in, there's no way that it would cause swelling. And at this point, I'm just like, you know what? Fuck you, you stupid bitch. But do I say that? No. I was just like, okay, well, have a nice day. And I hang up the phone. Okay, so then I have to go to my regular primary care doctor for a follow-up that had been scheduled to get some lab results and all of this other shit done. So I go and I tell her, this is actually before I canceled the surgery, okay? This is right before I canceled the surgery. But I'm telling her everything that this medical assistant is saying. And so my primary care doctor gets on the phone with the insurance trying to get the surgery pushed through, but they won't let her. They say that the only thing that can be done is to get the doctor who ordered the surgery to get it approved, and she's nowhere to be found. All I can talk to is this stupid bitch of a medical assistant who doesn't know a fucking thing, but she thinks she knows everything. So my primary care doctor is sitting there looking at me, and she's like, you know, Kayla, that swelling that you're dealing with, that's likely caused by your uterine fibroids. They're probably pressing on an area that is causing your legs to swell now. And I just looked at her and was like, thank you. I told her everything that medical assistant said. And I said, you know what? I've been Googling this stuff on my own, and I tried explaining this to the medical assistant. I said, I honestly don't even really want to go back to that doctor's office now because of that medical assistant. I said, the doctor, she seems great, but that, I didn't call her a bitch in my doctor's office, okay? I'm a little bit more professional than that. But anyway, I'm like, but that medical assistant really pissed me off. She completely disregarded everything I said. She said that there was no way that this could happen. I said, but thank you for telling me the truth. And at this point, I had found another treatment that didn't cause you to have major like hysterectomy surgery, and it was called Sonata. And I asked my doctor for another referral so I could go to this other doctor. And my doctor kind of pushed back, and she's like, you know, you're having a lot of problems. And she's like, but do you have any clue when the surgery is scheduled? And this was actually 2 separate appointments. I'm blending 2 separate appointments into one here. Like, so the first one I told her, the first one I was there for labs, and I told her that my surgery got canceled, and she tried to push the surgery through, but they wouldn't let her. And then it was after that I went to the ER, and then I had the issues with the medical assistant. Sorry, like my days are just blending together because I have been in severe pain. So then I had the issues with the medical assistant, and then I found that Sonata treatment for fibroids that doesn't require you to have surgery. Excuse me. So because it's an HMO, I have to get a referral from my primary care. So I called and I got another appointment. And that's when I actually complained to my doctor about the medical assistant at the gynecologist's office. And that's when my doctor told me that my swelling was likely caused by my uterine fibroids. Anyway, so my doctor kind of pushed back on the second appointment. And she's like, you know, you're going to be in pain. You've been to the ER twice because of this. I don't know that I really want you seeing another provider. And I'm like, look, for one, I'm not in a good place to have surgery, so I need to get this checked out. And then she asked me, she's like, but this is going to prolong your treatment. Like, when is your surgery scheduled? I said, I don't fucking know, you know? So this was July, and my surgery was supposed to be in June. And the gynecologist's office, like, hadn't called me at all. Like, as far as I was aware, there was no update on them getting my surgery approved. Now, generally, it's the medical assistant who actually files the paperwork for your surgery. And I'm pretty sure that this bitch of a medical assistant filed the paperwork wrong. She didn't do her job right. Okay? So, now, do I have a way to prove that? No, I absolutely do not have a way to prove that. But here's what happened. My doctor, my primary care doctor, reluctantly gives me a referral to this new doctor. So I go in there, I meet him, I meet his staff. They are far more professional than the staff of the other gynecologist. Now, I'm not trashing that original gynecologist. She was very nice. A lot of her staff was great, okay? A lot of her staff really was great, but that one medical assistant kind of ruined it for me, you know? She ruined my experience at the whole office. He gets me in, he does another transvaginal ultrasound, and he explains to me the Sonata treatment, which is a really great treatment if it's an option for you. But I got these like uterine fibroids that are just jetting out everywhere outside of my uterus. I got one like on my fucking cervix. And he just straight told me, he's like, I'm sorry, but this treatment isn't going to work for you. Literally the only thing that we can do, Kayla, is a hysterectomy. I'm disappointed, but he's a professional, like, what can I do? If he says that it's not going to work for me, it's not going to work for me. So I say, okay. I explained to him the problems that I had getting the surgery approved, and I'm like, if you can get the hysterectomy approved with my insurance company, then let's do it. But this other doctor's office, they already tried, and my insurance company said that it wasn't medically necessary. So I don't know how your office is going to work magic. Well, literally weeks later, his office called me and said, hey, Kayla, we got your insurance to approve your surgery. So who was lying to me? Not my insurance company. It was the original doctor's office. They filed the fucking paperwork wrong, and then they were trying to blame the insurance company. I feel gaslit as fuck by a doctor's office. What the fuck? Here I am, a fucking narcissistic abuse survivor, being gaslit by a goddamn doctor's office. I'm livid. But I went ahead and I called that doctor's office and I said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and go with another doctor. I don't need you guys to try to approve my surgery anymore. You can just go ahead and stop. And I let the new doctor schedule my surgery. Now, they got my surgery approved, but I still hadn't heard anything. So they got my surgery approved in August. And in September, I still hadn't heard anything. They were hoping to get my surgery scheduled for September. The problem was I have crap insurance. It's a fucking HMO. They only allow me to go to certain hospitals, and I'm going to have a more invasive surgery because they won't let me go to the good hospitals. So my doctor could perform the surgery completely laparoscopically. There we go. Sorry, these are words I don't use very often, which means that I really wouldn't have any incisions. I would just have like 3 ports in my stomach, like small, teeny ones. But because he has to go to a hospital that he doesn't normally work at, because it's one of the only hospitals that my insurance will allow, I'm going to have a 2-inch incision, which a 2-inch incision is still better than a 6-inch incision of a normal abdominal hysterectomy. So it's still mainly going to be a laparoscopic hysterectomy, but there's still going to be a 2-inch incision at my belly button. Now, by September, I was in severe pain. I was tossing and turning. I could not sleep at night. I was crying. I was like on edge, like wanting to just scream at everybody. I mean, you could literally say, hi, Kayla, how are you? And I wanted to just turn and look at you and be like, go to fucking hell. Not that I would do that, but that's how much pain I was in from these uterine fibroids. So let's go back. Okay, let's go back to 2019 where I had a 3-centimeter uterine fibroid, which really wasn't causing me that much problems, except for it was causing me problems emptying my bladder because one of my uterine fibroids is pressing directly on my bladder. Well, fast forward to 2022, that 3 centimeter, sorry. I don't know if I said 3-inch, but 3-centimeter uterine fibroid that was not causing me many problems has now grown to 9-point-something centimeters large. That is the size of a fucking grapefruit. And not only that, I don't just have that one uterine fibroid. I have a ton of uterine fibroids. How many uterine fibroids that I have, I can't fucking tell you because the doctors can't even tell me. Like, they do the ultrasound and they're like, oh my God, this is really impressive. And I'm like, what is impressive? And they're like, you have a lot of uterine fibroids. And I'm like, awesome. Okay, so I couldn't sleep. I'm at a point where I can barely walk. Excuse me, my pants are, or my shorts are like, oh God. So like I can barely even get up, okay? last year around this time, I was weighing like 111 pounds because I was jogging every day. I weigh like 181 pounds. Okay, my stomach is bloated as hell. I got major pain right here, but it's going and it's circulating all in my entire hip and like back here. So what happens is these uterine fibroids, they compress against nerves, causing like hip pain and stuff. And I mean, I honestly thought there was something wrong with my hip. But when they do the CT scans and whatnot at the hospitals, like they're not finding anything wrong. They're just finding these uterine fibroids. So I got these like massive uterine fibroids that are pressing on nerves that are causing me extreme hip pain to where I feel like I need a fucking hip replacement. And now it's getting to the point where I have lower back pain constantly, and I got pain here, and I'm having to run to the bathroom every like 10 to 20 minutes to pee because the fibroid, the one that's pressing on my bladder, is just pressing more and more and more on my bladder. And in closing, I wish I would have gotten my surgery back in 2019 when they were small, when they weren't causing me this many problems, when I thought I didn't need it. Call me a stupid bitch. I am calling myself a stupid bitch for not listening to the doctors and just going through with this surgery. So I called the doctor's office in September and I'm crying and I'm like, I can't deal with this pain anymore. I don't know what to do. We were talking about getting me scheduled in September, but it's already September and I haven't heard anything about scheduling. Like, have you heard anything? Well, thankfully they got me scheduled. So I will be going in very, very soon for my hysterectomy. I have a feeling that I'm going to be feeling immensely better after my hysterectomy. Hopefully I can start exercising again and like get in shape and start having a normal life again and not having to pee every 10 minutes, 20 minutes, because oh my God, let me tell you, that is frustrating, especially as a rideshare driver trying to find a fucking bathroom. Like, every single time you have to pee. And speaking of pee, I've been making this video for 42 minutes and I really gotta fucking pee now because I just finished my coffee. So I am gonna end this video here. But if you are suffering from uterine fibroids and they advise surgery, don't be stupid like I chose to be stupid and listen to your doctors and get that surgery ASAP. You are gonna thank yourself later. I will make another video after my surgery to tell you how the recovery process and all of that went. As far as sex after surgery, I don't know how that's going to go. I am not currently having sex. So yeah, maybe we can talk about self-pleasure after surgery. I don't know. Maybe I'll just make a video after, surgery to tell you how my recovery process went. And then afterwards, when I am able to do that kind of stuff again, maybe we'll make another video to talk about that. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I truly hope none of you are suffering with as much pain as I am, especially if you're dealing with uterine fibroids. But I wish you all the best. If you like this video, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. If you want to chat at all about your experience with uterine fibroids, please feel free to leave me a comment. And other than that, if you want to stay connected with me every time I make a new video, please be sure to subscribe, and you can also hit that little bell to be notified every time I make a new video. My video schedule is sporadic right now. I'm not really making a lot of videos, but I do have a lot of videos coming up that I would like to make. Anyway, thank you all. Have a wonderful day, evening, whatever time it is, wherever you're watching. And seriously, listen to your doctors and don't try to be tough. Don't try to tough it out like I did. Oh my God, I'm feeling like an idiot for trying to be tough. All right, bye everyone.